Hi, sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was battling to get online, I'm not sure why. I'm hoping you can see me okay. It feels like a little bit strange lighting, but here I am anyway. And I promised that we'd talk this evening about tantrums. And wow, that's such a big topic, and hopefully you've seen the blog about it already, and we'll put the link underneath afterwards. I want to start by suggesting we need to think about the age of the child, because how old our child is makes a big difference. I'm going to ask that we focus first of all on the toddler and think about the toddler tantrum, because I think we need to recognize when you're a toddler, life really can feel a bit overwhelming. It can feel like, I can't do this, I can't express what I need, I can't tell people how it is for me. And so sometimes the child just like has meltdown. And if you think about it, imagine if you're in a supermarket and you're overtired and everything's strange and all these people and the bright lights and the music and the noise and everything, and you're really tired out. Imagine just closing your eyes and giving a great big roar, how it would just shut it all out. It makes sense that a toddler will have a tantrum, but also what's really helpful for us to realize as parents and carers of children is that the child's brain at this age, as toddler age, isn't yet fully developed. The brain is still under construction. And when we hold in mind that the brain is under construction, it means we'll think about what's really needed. That if you think about it, that we've got a right and a left hemisphere, have I got that the right way around showing for you? And the one side, the left logic, actually processes the reasoning side of things, while the right brain is the part of the brain that does emotion, that processes emotion. Now imagine there was a highway joining these two sides together. That's what's called the corpus callosum. But that's not developed in young children. So it's as though there's all this traffic that as adults we process and don't even realize it, going backwards and forwards like traffic all the time. But for young children, that's not happening. And so it makes sense that when something's overwhelming, they can just hit meltdown. So what do they need? Well, because they can't do it themselves, they need the adult to calm them down. If we get hooked in, if we start getting wound up, or at the same time, if we push them away and we reject them, none of that is going to be helpful. The young child who's having a tantrum is actually in distress. She needs our help. If you walk away and you leave your child when your child is having a tantrum, it's like abandonment. Imagine if a young animal is abandoned. It would just feel as though, I'm going to die here. For the young child, if you just walk out on them, if you just ignore them and do something else and leave them having the tantrum, we might think it works. It's not working for the child. They need your connection at that time. So how do we do that? I think it's about thinking, what's going on for my child, to recognize they're stressed, and to recognize that when they are stressed, they can easily go into meltdown. So me not getting stressed is something that's really important. I think we tend to think, how do I stop the tantrum happening? But as I said, sometimes it is just such a build-up for the child. They need to let go. And we need to recognize it's okay for them to have the meltdown. We just don't have to hook into it. An expression I love is, be like Teflon, not like Velcro. Velcro sticks, and then two of them are stuck together. You and the child get stuck up into this power struggle and so on. Whereas if you just think his behavior is about him, my response is about me, and you don't hook into it, you're going to be in a different place with it. So a tantrum is rather, with a young child, a tantrum is rather like, a storm when you've had a sunny day and suddenly a storm comes across, down comes the shower, and the shower moves on. If you let the child's tantrum run its course, stay nearby. If the child's looking up at you, make warm, caring, connecting eyesight. Don't hook into the tantrum. The tears we cry when we peel an onion are chemically different to the tears we cry when we're upset. And the tears we cry when we're upset actually contain stress hormones. So when we say, have a good cry, cry it all out, that's what's going on with an upset, with a child's tantrum. He's actually crying out the stress. He's getting over it. So we don't need to stop it. Rather, we need to be there to just gently support and guide the child. When they look up at you and they see loving care in the eyes, they might put the head down and roar some more, and that's actually okay too. But somewhere along the line, they're going to start wanting to cuddle into you and be comforted and repair the relationship. That's part of the journey of tantrums with a young child. Think of it like a wave. Emotions are like waves. You know, they build up and up and up, and they'll build to crashing point, and then the wave comes down again. In a sense, that's what's happening with an emotion. The wave builds and builds and builds. The emotion gets too much, and then it'll crash over, and give it time and it'll come back down, providing you stay connected. When your child is older, how would you want your child to see you as they remember times like tantrums? Would you want them to think, she abandoned me? What matters is your child has a sense, Mum, Dad were there for me. We might not fully understand what's going on for the child, but you know, no behavior comes out of nowhere. Every behavior has a cause, and every behavior has an intention, even though the child might not know it. I'm just thinking, I don't know if there's any questions coming in at all. I'm not noticing any questions come in. I hope I'm not missing the questions. I have a young lady, Sophia, next to me. I'm sure she'll let me know if there's any questions coming in that I'm missing. So I think we need to think about what helps. On my the blog on Kids Time, I actually talk about the 5 mistakes of not to make regarding toddler tantrums, and we'll put the link down below after this so that you can connect in with that link and see what that link is saying to us. The 5 things that aren't helpful, which can then get us to think about what is helpful. But let me share a little bit more about this. In the next vlog, I've promised to talk about tantrums with an older child. And what actually makes the difference is how we deal with the tantrums when they're young. I don't believe that when a child gets to 6+, we should actually be dealing with tantrums. Because what happens is when the child is younger, the way we respond to the tantrum is going to make all the difference. If you're there and you're kind and you're connected, but you don't give in to what the child is demanding, the child will actually outgrow the tantrums as the brain is developing. So, you know, the child is maybe, I want that toy, I want that toy. And you know how they can build up and persist when they want something. So if you let yourself connect and get like Velcro with that, you know, and no, you're not going to have the toy, and you like hook into it, and your energy, negative energy builds. You're heading towards a tantrum. Whereas if you can just be saying, you'd really like that toy, but you're not giving in, you're just acknowledging where the child is at. I'm seeing some little thumbs up coming across. Thank you for that. If we can just acknowledge where the child is at without hooking into it, we're going to be well on the way to learning how to just travel the journey of the tantrum without getting hooked into it. So often a parent will reach the stage where they're just fed up, and they either do something like belittle the child, like stop that, you know, none more of that behavior, which doesn't actually help. Or otherwise, the other thing we might do is give in to the child. You know, it's so easy when this child starts going on and on, nagging and nagging, or having the meltdown, that we then sort of say, okay, all right, just have it, and we give them the toy or the sweet or whatever. The moment we get to the giving them what they're demanding, we are actually creating a rod to beat our own backs, because we're actually setting them up to know this is what you do if you really want to have something. You just have the tantrum, whatever, and we'll reward you with giving you the toy that you've been demanding. So what I'm saying is, when a child is going into a tantrum, it's really important not to give them what they are demanding, not to give them what they want, but do give them what they need. So they might want the toy, the sweet, whatever. We can acknowledge it. You'd really like that, but doesn't mean we have to give it to them. But what they do need is the sense of connection, the sense of what I call feeling felt. You really want that toy. You know, it's not just, you want that toy. It's let yourself show with your energy, with your body language, that you get where they're at. And when we can connect with them, that, as I say, they feel felt, then the child can really have a sense of connecting, being connected, and being able then not to get what they want, but to know that they're not alone in this. So think about it. When the child is older and they have the tantrum, you've in a sense taught them how to have the tantrum. And rather, when they're younger, hold back and be aware that if I just respond to their experience without giving them what they're demanding, then I'm going to be able to help them to learn how to handle their emotions. Afterwards, we can talk to them and say when they're really calmed down. But when they're really upset, trying to reason with them doesn't work. As I say, the brain's still under construction, so they're not being able to process things. If you start to come in while they're building towards the tantrum, and you start trying to explain why, whatever, you want the toy. Oh, but I haven't got enough money, whatever. That doesn't actually help them to deal with their emotion. Don't worry about the why at this stage. Just be aware of responding to them. You'd really like it. It's okay to say that, but without giving in. With the older child, it's very interesting that the facial expression on an older child having a tantrum, 6, 7, whatever, is a different facial expression to the toddler. If you look at a toddler's face having a tantrum, you will see a face that is in distress. If you look at the older child having a tantrum, you will actually see a face that is angry, a face that is trying to demand and push the child's own way. And so recognize that little child is in need of your support. I'm not seeing any questions come in. I hope I'm not missing them. What's the time now, Sophia? Sophia's helping me on the side here. Quarter past. So I know that I wanted to cover all of this. I wanted to tell you something. Let me just pop it in quickly while we just see if any questions come in. Last month when we did the yelling one, we had such a fantastic response. Over 8,000 people, thank you, viewed it and all. And in light of that, I'm putting my top tips for stop yelling, and you could think about it with stop nagging as well, or many other parenting situations. I've created a fridge poster, and that is actually going onto my website. In fact, we put it up just this afternoon. And I'm going to have that live on the Coemba, so we'll drop the link for that below as well, that you can click on to get the Facebook, the fridge poster around top tips to stop yelling. And we'll put the link below that. I'm also going to make a little video. I'd hope to get it done by tonight, but I haven't yet done it. But if you sign up, then I'll send you the link as soon as we've done that. Marie, I'm seeing a little message from you and from Karen. Thank you for the messages coming on saying that it's helpful. I'm not seeing any questions come in, but let me just give an overview then. The young child, the brain's under construction. Don't expect them to be able to respond maturely. They will have meltdowns sometimes at 3, 4, that sort of age, when they can't cope. Hi, I'm seeing Kathy say hello as well. It's lovely to see friends up there on the thing. Do read the article. We'll put the blog down below for that. Do think about, in a sense, crossing the bridge and being in your child's world and seeing things from your child's perspective. So I'll put the details. Karen, you're asking where the website is. I'll put the details down below. In fact, Marie, I think, is online at the moment, who's my social media guru. Marie, if you'd be kind to put the Coemba down below, that would be great, and then people can find it there. And I think one last thought let me give you that can be helpful as well is recognizing that our own thoughts wind us up. So if you think about when your child starts getting reactive, so often we can start thinking things like, she's just trying to wind me up, she's just being a brat, or your own story of whatever you tell yourself in your head. And if you think about it, those thoughts wind us up. And we don't know that those thoughts are true. And I'm seeing somebody else saying hello. Thank you, Linda. Okay, Lynn, we'll put the link up. Don't worry. There we is, www.coemba.com for the fridge poster. Thank you for putting that up, Marie. And so let me get back to the thoughts. And we think these thoughts that actually wind us up and then get us away from being the parent we want to be. If you take time just to bring yourself back to your breathing, when you can feel yourself getting wound up, and just take yourself back into breathing, when we steady our breathing, we steady our thoughts. And we can bring ourselves back to thinking, hang on, I'm the adult here. We don't need to have two kids having a tantrum here. One of us having a meltdown is enough. And if we steady our breathing, we steady our thoughts, we think, what really matters here? How do I stay calm? How do I stay connected? How do I stay the person that my child can rely on to calm her when she's losing the plot? Think about it. How we react when our children are acting the most unlovable is probably what matters the most. We can either get reactive and get back into the power struggle, or we can think when they're most unlovable is when they're probably most needing our unconditional love. And I'm saying it's not giving them what they're trying to demand, but just showing no matter what's going on, I love you, I care about you. And our children know that just by the look in our eyes, just by our body language, by our calmness at times when they most need it. So at times when you're feeling stressed, take that breath, calm yourself down, and get the fridge magnet. I'm getting a question here coming in. Marie saying, sometimes a situation will happen in, say, a creche. The response there may not be consistent with what you do at. Can I read the rest of the question? I'm battling to get the rest of the question. Marie, I'm battling to get the rest of it. If you maybe text it to Sophia, and she'll just tell me the last few words, which I can't get afterward, what you do at. So let me talk about creches. While my passion is in early education, I worked and trained in early education for many years. I love doing talks and workshops for early educators as well. Let me mention my book, Behave What to Do When Your Child Won't. It's a book that can be really helpful both for early educators and, oh, is it just at home? Oh, thank you. Thanks, Vicky. Okay, so it's not the same as what we do at home. I really believe that mindful parenting, or an approach of mindful parenting, is something we need at home and we need in our education system. I've been getting some great feedback from a couple of teachers who've been reading my book recently and saying how they have found it really helpful in the classroom as well. So I do work as a workshop presenter, both for parents and also within education situations as well. We need to recognize we need an education system as well as homes that nurture our children's emotional intelligence, not just their cognitive intelligence. We need to have environments that help children learn how to socially interact. We need environments that help them to be connected to themselves. Unfortunately, it's often not that the teachers don't want to. I think we have a situation with schools being overloaded, teachers overloaded, classroom situations too big. Let's lobby. When we have politicians we're talking to at any time, let's lobby that smaller classrooms with well-qualified teachers is important. This is such a big thing in early education. Our early education people, certainly here in Ireland, and I don't know how it applies elsewhere, are not paid what they deserve to be paid for the hours, the commitment, the training they've been putting in. They are in early education. I'm glad to see some thumbs up and hearts coming over. Yeah, early education really matters. This is your child's foundation in education. When they have people who are not adequately trained, then how are they going to get what they need to really flourish? I think every parent and every person in community needs to be lobbying for better conditions for early education so that they know how to deal effectively with not just the cognitive education of your child, but the whole nurturing of the child, a soul who is learning to journey in this world, learning how to interact with people. Thank you very much, everyone, for being with us today. Hope this has been helpful. Go back and see the blog posts on Your Kids' Time as well. And Marie's been posting the links both for the fridge post about how to stop yelling and also the link for the book, Behave What to Do When Your Child Won't. Thank you for all the likes and little hearts floating across the screen. I don't know if you can see them like I can, but it really just warms my heart to see them. And thank you to Sophia and to Marie supporting me as well. And have a great week. Steady your breathing so you steady your thoughts. Thank you. Bye-bye.